To keep it simple, I send our beloved GTA protagonists to the world of Uma Musume, where they are basically trainers that train horse girls. Just to note that this is my assumption, and the people I ask assumptions on what horse girl best fits GTA Protagonist, and I will be only talking about the GTAs past GTA 3. So I ask you to sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Let's start off with the first protagonist, Claude. Claude is basically a mute dude who lost his voice because his girlfriend Catalina obliterated him in the neck, and now I send him to Uma Musume to be a horse girl trainer in my timeline idea. Basically, but he's still mute. I had an easy option for Claude on this one, and that is Manhattan Cafe. Let me explain Manhattan Cafe in the Uma Musume game. The real-life Manhattan Cafe is known for completing all long-distance G1s after his father Sunday Silence passed away according to this wiki. The real-life Manhattan Cafe has many triple crowns similar to the real-life Agnes Tachyon and Jungle Packet in 2001. I think that Claude fits well with Manhattan Cafe. Like, for some reason, I imagine when Claude trains Manhattan Cafe, he's like... So in conclusion, Claude Speed will be training Manhattan Cafe on this one. Let's move to the next protagonist. Up next we got Tommy Vercetti. Remember the name, and the horse girl I provide Tommy Vercetti that he trains. I had a tough choice for what horse girl best fits with Tommy Vercetti's vibes. If he were an Uma Musume trainer, either he trains Gold City or Maruzensky. So I think the best fitting Uma for Tommy Vercetti has got to be Maruzensky. Let me explain. Maruzensky is the most 80s classic themed Uma Musume character there is. I saw one of her support cards and saw a 1980s Lambo in there. And these two just go well together. Like, you got a guy from the 80s who got reincarnated into Uma Musume, and a horse girl who is probably old and likes 80s stuff and vintage cars. So imagine Tommy Vercetti driving an Infernus with Maruzensky as the passenger in Miami or Vice City, something like that. The real life Maruzensky has been around since the 1970s all the way to the 1980s, and was known for winning many races basically. But sadly, the real life Maruzensky passed away in 1997. So what my conclusion in this one is, Tommy Vercetti will be training Maruzensky as these two go well together. Let's move to the next GTA protagonist, shall we? Okay, this one's gonna be my favorite. Next up is Carl Johnson. But in this one, I'm gonna be using the buff version of Carl Johnson, as that makes him a really good trainer if you were in Uma Musume. I was having a hard time picking what horse girl best fits for CJ to be a trainer of, but in the end I found the best one for him, and that is Tamamo Cross. Let me explain. Tamamo Cross may look little, but do not underestimate her. She is really powerful and fast. For those who don't know Tamamo Cross, she is one of the characters from the Uma Musume Cinderella Grey and is a rival to Oguri Cup. Let's not forget Tamamo Cross is buff AF like buff Carl Johnson. As for the real life Tamamo Cross, it's a white stallion lightning horse that has won 3 G1s in a row and fought with the real life Oguri Cup several times. It also had the nickname White Lightning 2 and was often compared to the real life Oguri Cup according to the wiki. So to keep it simple, Tamamo Cross is Oguri's rival in the game and in real life. I imagine if CJ was an Uma Musume trainer, he would train Tamamo Cross and fight Big Smoke, who trains Oguri Cup, because Big Smoke literally best fits Oguri Cup in my opinion. And instead of fighting with firearms, they fight with horse girls, sparking Oguri and Tamamo's rivalry together. So in conclusion, Carl Johnson will be training Tamamo Cross. Next up on this list is Niko Bellic from GTA 4, and I found the best Uma Musume for Niko Bellic, and that is Nakayama Festa. Let me explain. I am a global player and not a JP, and Nakayama Festa's JP, so I had to ask the JP players for ideas on this one. Nakayama Festa is part of the Stay Gold family according to the JP players, which Goldship is also a part of, and she is also a gambler, which will remind Niko Bellic of his cousin Roman Bellic, who also gambles. As for the real life Nakayama Festa, it was a racehorse in the early 2000s and is stated to have the worst temper among the Stay Gold family. Though it was a fighter and it won a G1 race against Buena Vista, it had about 15 runs and 5 wins. Now for my thoughts on why Niko Bellic will train Nakayama Festa. I can imagine Niko Bellic telling Nakayama Festa his stories about the war, saying, "Life is complicated. I took people, sold people, smuggled people. Perhaps here, training you will be different." So in conclusion, Niko Bellic will be taking Nakayama Festa on this one. Let's move to the next GTA protagonist. Up next is my man Johhny Klebitz from GTA 4 The Lost and Damned. And I know which one's well with him, and that is Vodka. Let me explain. Johhny Klebitz is the main character of GTA 4's DLC The Lost and Damned, and he is a biker and the leader of the Lost MC group basically. Vodka is kind of a biker herself. I mean, she has the design of a biker and these two would go well together. You got an actual biker with a biker themed horse girl basically. And let's not forget Vodka's rival Daiwa Scarlet. Now Vodka has a trainer who's kind of a biker against a non-biker Daiwa Scarlet. As for the real life Vodka, there isn't much I can say aside from the fact the real life Vodka's a major rival of the real life Daiwa Scarlet, and that has been competing against her several times, and their final match was in 2008 where Vodka won. So in my opinion, Vodka and Johhny Klebitz go well as like trainer and Uma. Hopefully in this timeline idea of mine, Johhny Klebitz is retired from Ashley and instead becomes an Uma Musume trainer who rides motorcycles. So in conclusion, Johhny Klebitz will be training Vodka on this one. Next GTA protagonist, shall we? Okay, next protagonist up is Luiz Lopez from the Ballad of Gay Tony. And I don't know what to say about Luiz Lopez aside from the fact that I just reincarnated him into Uma Musume and he's a trainer now instead of working for Tony Priest. And he's more chill and friendly, I guess. So the Uma Musume I gotta give Luiz Lopez has got to be El Condor Pasa. As you may know, Luiz Lopez is a Dominican American guy and he is also Tony Prince's bodyguard. As for El Condor Pasa, she's a Mexican American styled Uma Musume character who is very cheerful and a luchador. Just do not take off her mask, as that is a secret. Also, she is friends with Grass Wonder. The real life El Condor Pasa was active at the 1990s and couldn't run in classics due to foreign breed restrictions, but won all Japanese races except for one. He then flew to France and won 2 graded races along with the name El Condor Pasa. It's stated to be an orchestral musical piece and it's also a song I found on YouTube. So in conclusion, I don't have much to say for Luiz Lopez training El Condor Pasa aside from the fact that it reminds him of his Hispanic culture. Now let's move on to the next GTA protagonist, shall we? Okay, next up is gonna be Michael DeSanta from GTA 5. As the first one in the trio protagonist of 5, I know the best fitting horse girl for Michael, and that is Meisho Dotto. Let me explain. I imagine when Michael trains Meisho Dotto, he can imagine Meisho as like a daughter he never had. Unlike Tracy DeSanta, similar to when he said to Franklin, he's like a son he never had. Meisho Dotto is a clumsy and cheerful Uma Musume girl who is very kind and is best friends with TM Opera O, the overlord herself, and looks up to her basically. And Meisho Dotto is really cute. Come on man, she screams daughter as the Uma Musume fandom would say. The real life Meisho Dotto was a racehorse that competed in 1999 to 2001 after Admiral Vega retired, and it was also TM Opera O's rival. And according to this wiki, Meisho Dotto fought TM Opera O 9 times from 2000 to 2001, and in the end, Meisho Dotto beat TM Opera O, which was the first G1 victory. So my conclusion is Michael DeSanta will be training Meisho Dotto. Next! Okay, next up is Trevor Phillips, but I have to heavily censor him so he can be an appropriate Uma Musume trainer and instead make him behave like Goldship. So no swearing, no inappropriate stuff, and he is clean, just like Goldship. So in this timeline idea of mine, he trains Goldship. So Trevor Phillips in GTA 5 is a complete maniac, we know that. So let's fix Trevor Phillips and make him behave like Goldship instead, while at the same time training our beloved silly horse girl Goldship on this one, okay? Cause why not? The real life Goldship is known to be very unpredictable, and let's not forget the 12 billion yen incident where the real life Goldship stalled for a few seconds and ended up losing people 12 billion yen. But even after that, the real life Goldship is still dominating beast and is alive today as of this time I'm recording. So yeah, clean Trevor Phillips will be training Goldship on this one. Let's move to the last GTA protagonist, shall we? Okay, this is gonna be the last protagonist on this list, and that is Franklin Clinton. And I can't think much for Franklin aside from the fact that the best Uma Musume for him is either Major Orion or Hishi Amazon. I was supposed to say Hishi Amazon, but I changed my mind. Major Orion just best fits with Franklin. First of all, Franklin has that haircut, and so I reincarnated him to Uma Musume where he still has that haircut, and now he trains Major Orion. First of all, Major Orion is part of the Majoro family, which includes Majoro McQueen, okay? Along with that, Major Orion is very sporty, as the wiki says, and she likes exercising. And I also know that Franklin exercises too. He's really fit, I mean. And did you know when I play Uma Musume, I often encounter Major Orion? The real life Major Orion, much like the game and the name, is part of the Majoro family that was highly active during the 1990s. And it could not win classics, but the jockey of Major Orion was able to defeat his rival Majoro McQueen. So in my conclusion, Franklin from GTA 5 will be training Major Ryan on this one. Let's finish this once and for all. Okay, conclusions time. I hope you enjoyed every second of my shenanigans that is this video. Just remember people, in this timeline idea of mine, the GTA protagonists got reincarnated into Uma Musume not to be criminals, but to be torenas. I don't often say this, but can you kindly like and subscribe? It would help me out, I guess. My goal for this video is to get at least 1,000 to 10,000 views with this video that people call peak content. So that's all I gotta say. Thanks for watching. See y'all in the next video. Peace out and goodbye.